Hello everyone, I'm D,
And I'm R.
and together we are
DJR
DJR Union. And today we're going to be going over the blue cards for Full Metal Alchemist. That's right, we're going to be going over blue. Everyone's been hype about Roy Mustang, or not hype, but they've been asking questions about Roy Mustang. Some people are doubting his capabilities, other people are trying to hold on to hope. And we're going to find out right here, right now, if Roy Mustang is indeed capable of his title of most popular character in Fullmetal Alchemist.
Exactly. So without wasting any more time, let's hop onto it. Starting off with Alex Luis, Armstrong, one of my personal favorites in the series, and already nullified impact at a 4K beater. As you already know, impact is becoming a huge, more prevalent of a mechanic as more sets come out. So it's really good to have more nullified impact characters, especially at higher BP status, to be able to not only tank and protect ourselves, but to also be able to protect against like lower level characters so they're not dying to other fathers. We can actually use it and keep it holding up for the more serious threats that are to come.
Alex Luis Armstrong, next one, 5 energy, 2 action. This one's at 4,500 BP, which is really good because that pretty much is over the cap of like the majority of cards, but still not quite at the 5K mark to make him too strong.
Exactly.
He does have damage too, though.
That is true. So he is going to be applying a lot of pressure. It does suck that he does not come into the field active. So like I said, it has to be one of the situations I need to justify to be able to play him as like a 2 of or a 3 of or something of that nature. I do like his once per turn when this card attacks and wins a battle, you're able to draw 2 cards because one, you're proccing your opponent to want to block by having damage 2, because who wants to take damage 2, especially later on during the game. So if they're going to block to save their health, you're going to be getting a benefit of drawing 2 cards on top of it, which is very similar to, I believe, a Lumi from Hunter x Hunter Purple.
Yep.
Where it's like you either let this damage go through or I'm drawing 2 cards, so pick your poison.
Yeah, with the Lumi, you're able to target a person on your opponent's field, and if that character died, you draw 2 cards. It's very similar, except I feel like this one's a lot more consistent because it's every turn versus just 1 turn with a Lumi.
Exactly. So just to have that consistency, which I can see why they're making it a 2 action to bring it out versus only 1 action.
Izumi Curtis. She appears to be in blue as well.
Oh, lovely.
When this character attacks and isn't blocked, draw a card.
Good. Just good.
Just good?
Yeah. So it's like, all right, block her or I'm going to draw a card. Pick your poison.
4 energy, 1 action. Edward Elric. On play, you may add 1 card from your life to your hand, and if you do, this character then can become active. On your main phase, discard 2 cards, and this character gets impact during this turn.
Not a bad card. Like I said, more play around taking cards from your life in order to gain benefits from. So of course, equivalent exchange in order to be able to attack that same turn, you got to take from your life, and also the be able to discard 2 cards. Like you said, you're already getting a card from your life, so you're just basically pitching a card to be able to just give this card impact 1 to start swinging in and getting that damage through.
And from what we know about Roy Mustang and him emptying out his hand, we do know that this discard 2 ability can possibly help out Roy Mustang in getting to that into that empty hand state.
Exactly. So this is another. So yes, if I can speak correctly, like you said, this is another good way to try to get your hand count to 0 in order to fuel the Roy Mustang's play. So it's a little bit of support. Like I said, there's still plenty of more cards in the set, so we can really determine whether or not Roy Mustang is a good or a bad card.
Jean. Play up to 1 blue character card other than Jean with a required energy of 3 or less and an AP cost of 1 from your hand to your field rested.
So it's another good way. So pretty much on his death, you're able to play another card set to resting onto your field. So it's not bad. So it's just block fodder at best, pretty much.
Yeah, not bad. Block, bring someone else out, then you at least have advantage when you come back around on your turn.
Yeah, so nothing too
or
crazy.
You won't lose advantage when it comes back around to your turn, is what I meant to say. Hey mans! He's racist.
Yeah.
Hayate. On play, look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Reveal up to 1 Riza or Kane among them and add it to your hand. Place the remaining at the bottom of your deck in any order. If you have the card to hand, place 1 from your hand to the sideline.
So pretty much just like how Mei-chan was in the previous video. It's a good early first turn, play a card, look 3 cards deep to be able to find what you need to set up for your later play. So not a bad card. I guess overall pretty decent card, honestly. Good setup.
Maze! On the main phase, discard 1 card. He gets 1k BP during this turn, which helps you get down to that 0 mark. And when he dies, if you have 2 or less cards in your hand, draw 1 card.
Pretty messed up for Maze, but like you said, just another way to try to benefit off of having fewer and fewer cards in your hand. So it's like you have 2 or less cards in your hand, so you have no cards in your hand, you get to draw a card to get some more answers, or you can pitch a card in order to buff him up to a 4k beater, plus he's a color trigger on top of that.
Yeah. Not to mention, you could literally just main phase, discard, down to 2 cards in your hand, and then draw a card whenever he dies.
Yeah, if there's a card to kill him on your turn, then freak.
Special trigger? Riza! If there's a Roy Mustang on your field, draw a card on play.
Not bad, just draw a card, nothing too fancy with it.
Get some card advantage, generates 2 energy, not bad.
Yeah, nothing crazy though.
Riza! 1 energy on play, look at the top 2 cards of your deck. Place any number of cards among them on the top and bottom of your deck in any order.
Alright, so Scry 2. With a draw trigger.
Riza! A raid this time. On play, you get to choose 1 character on your opponent's front line with BP 1500 or more, and it gets minus 1k BP during this turn. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Place up to 1 card among them on top of your deck, and the rest on the bottom of your deck in any order.
Alright, so pretty much another Scry, technically. So like you can look at the top 4, choose 1 to keep at the top of your deck, and put the other 4 at the other 3 at the bottom of your deck in any order. So another way to, like, say, manipulate your deck to determine what cards you're gonna have.
Mm-hmm. And then on the main phase, when she's on your front line, once per turn, you get to choose a character on your opponent's front line with 1500 or more BP, and it loses another 1000 during this turn. Or it loses 1000. So, truthfully, if there is someone that's at 4k, you can on play and then main phase on front line to lower it by 2k, putting them at a 2k BP character instead.
Exactly. So it's not a bad ability. I feel there's going to be more cards to really capitalize off this. So it's like I said, it's still early to tell.
Yep. We're going to see just how much this BP reducing ability is going to work. Considering how this is a rated cards ability, it has to be important somehow. Roy Mustang, 2 energy, 1 action. When he's played, choose 1 character on your opponent's front line with 1500 or more BP, and it loses 1k BP during this turn.
Alright, so there's another card that loses 1k BP. So that's 3 cards so far that we saw that are losing 3k. So I wonder if this would play with, like, I wonder if this is a type of burn deck almost, where it's just like you're burning your character's BP slowly, so that way you can just flat out kill it.
4 energy, 1 action, Roy Mustang. On your turn, if you have 2 or less cards in your hand, this character gets 1k BP. When attacking, if you have no cards in your hand, you get to draw up to 1 card.
Okay, so what I'm thinking how this Roy Mustang deck is going to work, it's going to work basically with you dancing around the fact you have 0 to 2 cards in your hand constantly throughout the entire match. So there's no, I'm stacking 8 or 7, like 7 to 8 cards in my hand. No, you're playing that dangerous game of like saying, hey, I'm only at 2 cards in my hand maximum, but I get a lot of benefit off of having fewer than 2 cards in my hand.
Roy Mustang. Now this is a card that everyone knows, but for those that don't know, we're going to go over it right now. If you have no cards in your hand, this character gets impact. When you play this character, you draw 1 card. When you attack with this character, place any number of cards from your hand to the sideline area to choose 1 character on your opponent's front line with 1k or less BP and kill it. For each card placed in the outside area with this effect, you increase that BP range of characters that you can choose with this effect by 1000. And when this effect kills a character, you can place a card from your hand to the sideline, and if you do, place that chosen character to the removal area instead of into the sideline.
Okay, so I think what they are going for with this deck, since we looked at the Reese cards as well as the other Roy Mustang cards, is that this deck wants you to burn your characters. They want you to burn your characters, snapping those fingers left and right to get them low enough so that way you can bring out this Roy Mustang to try to finish them off and not only kill the character, but basically flat out just straight up remove the character from the game. I think that's the strategy that they're going for here. The real question is how consistently is this strategy going to work against your opponent? Or is this going to be like a gimmick type of deck?
My thing about this is that I think that this deck is actually going to be kind of good. I know a lot of people are saying that it's not that great, but I do really love what it's going for. So yes, you're able to place any number of cards from your hand to the sideline to kill something off, and it's increased by each card you place in the sideline. So pretty much off rip, you're hitting 1k no matter what. And by placing that 1, that BP range is increased from 1000 to 2000. So just by placing 1 card from your hand, you're hitting a 2000 character. At 2, it's 3k, and at 3, it's 4k. The thing I like about this is that it seems like there's a lot of characters that are nerfing characters to therefore bring out Roy's potential. And because of it, there's also a lot of cards that help refuel the amount of cards you have in your hand. So Roy seems to be a pretty big gun-ho deck. You're going in, you're going hard, you're not using your cards in your hand for anything other than to kill stuff off. So I think that's why a lot of people are saying that this deck isn't that great, is because you're not going to be able to use any of the cards in your hand. You're literally just using your hand to snap. You're not using it for anything else. You're just snapping your hand away so that you can snap your opponents away, give this character impact, and then do more damage.
Yeah, and like you said, the reason I'm still on the fences about it is because when I look at Roy's ability, it mainly just targets one character. And you know that, especially if we're dealing with, like, say, like one for like lower enemies, like say 2-3k BP, so like a lot of far enemies, this is pretty good because you can start really knocking up those characters left and right.
Yeah.
Where I feel as though where it's really gonna show how powerful this deck or how good this deck really is once we start getting to, like, say, the stronger characters, like their 4 and 5k beaters, because like you said, it seems like that you are burning characters but you're utilizing a lot of resources to try to bring down one character. And if we all know, Yellow Bleach kind of had a weakness where you had to use a lot of action economy to, like, say, take care of one character that you were resting versus being able to take care of multiple characters. Yep. So this line is where I feel it's going to determine whether or not Roy Mustang is good or bad, to see if he has a way to do this effectively to multiple characters, not just go gun-ho on one character. Because if it's all gun-ho on one character, that's going to be bad for you as the player, because you're going to have 3 other characters you have to deal with by utilizing a lot of resources and a lot of AP just to take care of one character. But we'll see. We still have a couple more cards in the set, and we still have to actually play the cards when they come out to see just how good Roy Mustang really is going to be.
Metal Armstrong. On play, look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal up to 1 trait Briggs card among them, and add it to your hand. Place the rest at the bottom of your deck in any order, and if you add a card to your hand, place 1 from your hand to the sideline.
Alright, it's not bad. I will say a lot of these search cards I am noticing, a lot of them don't have triggers on them. So compared to like other cards that we've seen in the past, like say Esper Sisters that had a draw trigger on it, and when you were digging 7 cards deep for 2 cards, this one is not as much value gained from it, but it doesn't have a trigger effect on it. So I want to see how this is going to play in deck building when you're going to be playing a lot of these search cards, especially if they don't have a lot of triggers behind them.
Yeah, I've noticed that not many cards in the Union Arena game have triggers for the searching cards. Some of them do, but some of them don't, and it seems like a good 50-50 split. Because when you look at Demon Slayer, they had the Comrades card that let you search that didn't have a draw trigger, or you had the Zenitsu card that let you search that did have a draw trigger. But the one that do have the trigger is more limited in what you can search, while the ones that don't have the draw trigger is more broad. And it seems like that's how they're using it to balance out just how powerful the search cards are. Another Olivier. When played, if you played a card with an original AP cost of 2 or more onto your field during this turn, choose up to 1 of your AP cards and switch it to active. This effect can only be activated once per turn.
Oh, so Olivia basically just becomes free. Basically. So free 3 energy generates 2 energy, and there's a color trigger on top of that.
I mean, as long as you played a 2 or more action point, yeah.
Yeah.
So you play 2 action point, use your last action point for her, and then restand that action point up to get another turn.
The other Armstrong, Louis Armstrong, I forgot his first name.
Alex,
yeah, Alex Louis Armstrong.
The guy you said who was your favorite character?
Next card.
Olivier! Woo! So, on play, you get to set all... I'm sorry. When played, you get to set... Jesus Christ. When played, you get... Oh my god. Alright, take over, bro. I can't speak.
Alright, as we can see from Muscle Mommy right here, set all Briggs trait cards on your field set to active. You heard it. If she's on the field, if she's played onto the field, she's starting that brigade. So those cards that are still resting, nah fam, we're playing this, we're switching it all to active, and we are raiding on those boys, bro. Not only that, when she attacks, you may place 1 card from your hand to the sideline, and you did choose up to 1 character with an original AP cost of 2 or more on your field and set it to active.
So
let's look at Alex Armstrong again.
So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be playing Alex. You're playing Alex for 2 action points. You do your restand. You play another. You play the Olivier that the 3-action one that lets you restand another action point. Therefore, you have 2 action points left. You use one to play another random character, and then you play the last one to play this one. This way, the 2 characters that you played that set to resting, Alex, the damage 2, and the random one, go to active. What you're doing is you swing Alex first, you swing Olivier second, placing a card from your hand to the sideline to choose that Alex, switching him back to active, swinging again for another damage 2.
And what you gonna do about that?
Nothing. I'm gonna just cry.
Yeah,
I'm a special trigger.
You're gonna cry. Just like how they tag teamed that what was it, the sloth homunculus? In the anime? Yeah, that's what's happening. You're getting jumped. You're getting jumped.
Well,
You're getting jumped by Muscle Mommy and Muscle Daddy. What?
wow.
Sister, what is it again? Sister and brother at it again? I don't know what is it with these sister and brother combos, but they're looking pretty broken.
Wow.
Got Gitaru and Daki.
Wow.
We have Nezuko and Tanjiro.
Wow.
We got the Esper sisters.
Wow.
Now we got the Armstrong siblings.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Buccaneer! 4 energy, 2 action. If there are 3 or more Briggs on your field, reduce the AP cost of this card in your hand by 1. On the main phase, once per turn, this character gains 1k BP and impact. And at the end of your opponent's attack phase, kill this character and draw a card until the start of your next turn. So, at any point in time, you can just casually activate this ability. There's no real condition to it, other than the fact that at the end of your opponent's attack phase, this character dies and you draw a card. So you can just say, yeah, he's going to have 5k BP with impact. Pretty good. And the fact that you can reduce the AP cost to 1, making him a 4 energy 1 action, just for having 3 Briggs on your field, really good card.
Really good. Really powerful card. So definitely can see play with this guy.
4 Briggs! 3 energy, 2 action sight?
Ooh.
Generates 2 energy, which is nice. When played during this turn, reduce the AP cost of the next Briggs card in your hand by 1.
So you can make a Briggs card free. Or your 4 Briggs just becomes 1 AP at that point.
On the main phase, you can rest this card that can only be activated if you played a character whose original AP cost is 2 or more in your field this turn, and draw a card.
So now, not only do you play 4 Briggs, you can play your next Briggs card basically for free, and it's just like if it's 3, what is it, 2 AP or more? Yep, if it's 2, no, is it 2 AP or more? So pretty much that other Briggs card, you play it for 1 AP instead of 2 AP. You get to activate its effect to draw an additional card.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's really that's good. That's good.
You're basically just bombarding your opponent with Briggs left and right.
That's really good. The military is crazy. That's a truer statement if I've ever heard one.
Exactly.
Draw 2 cards. Then if you have 2 cards in your hand, draw 1 more card. Okay, so this does work towards Rory Mustang. He has zeroed out cards, and then right off the bat, you get to draw 2 cards if you have no cards in your hand. Then, if you have the 2 cards exactly in your hand after you draw 2 cards, meaning that you had to have 0 when you activate this card, therefore this being the last card in your hand, you get to draw 1 more card, putting you at 3 cards.
Exactly. So just another way to just refill your hand, essentially.
State Alchemist. Choose 2 action points and switch them to active. The Northern Wall of Briggs. Choose 1 character on your opponent's frontline with 5k or less BP and kill it. Oh, I'm sorry, you don't kill it. You rest it, and then the next time it would be switched to active, it doesn't. But if Olivia Amira Armstrong is on your field, you may retire it instead. So this is really good. It plays a little bit of like, you don't have to kill something just off rip. You can just rest it and pretty much immobilize it, therefore making it useless on your opponent's turn. Which is really good, because then you can either do that or just kill off cards that are problems.
Exactly, and like I said, resting is also good, especially if you like, say, lock down a slot on your opponent's board. So now they have 3 frontline slots to work with versus 1 frontline slot. And like I said, especially if you're swinging with a damage 2 Alex Armstrong, you're slip and sliding, and yeah, you're getting into that health bar real quickly.
Flame Alchemist. Choose 1 character on your opponent's front line with 3k or less BP and kill it, and if Rory Mustang's on the field, it's 5k or less instead.
So your basic kill spell. I tell you what, that is the next purple card.
And then, in the starter deck, you get 2 extra cards. One is Alex Louis Armstrong, For just damage 2, 4 energy, 1 action.
Just damage 2, and he's flexing them muscles.
And Roy Mustang, 1 energy, 1 action. Impact negate. He's ready to snap his finger at you. Because if he has 0 cards in his hand, he gets 1 extra BP, putting him at 3K.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know about Roy Mustang. I really don't know. So I will have to see him in action to see whether or not if he's really going to be a force to be reckoned with.
I'm going to pick up Roy.
You want to pick up Roy?
I know for a fact I want to pick up Roy. I want to shame the non-believers, you know? I've been a Roy fan. I'm not gonna lie. I do like Roy. Roy's my boy. Roy's our boy. They literally chant it in Smash Bros. Roy's our boy. So I gotta defend my boy Roy. You guys are like, oh no, he's trash. I'm just gonna be like, shut up. I'm gonna snap you away because once per turn when she's on the front line, I lower your BP by 1k. That's 1 less card I have to get rid of when I use Roy Mustang's ability, as long as they're both on the front line, right? Then, when I empty out my entire hand with him, what character gets a benefit? This character. He gets an extra 1k BP with 2 or less, and I get to draw an extra card to refuel myself on the next turn. If that 1 extra card just so happens to be the military's crazy, and I get some other card that I just throw out, I'm military crazy, get 2 cards, get a 3rd card on top of that, I'm refueled again. I'm gonna snap you away after I activate her ability again, lowering you by another 1k, snapping you away with only the cost of like, what, 2 or 3 cards? Then boom, you're gone. I have impact again. I'm swinging in. What are you gonna do to me? What are you gonna do to me? I'm gonna assert my dominance on you. I'm maining Roy. I'm picking up Roy. I've decided on it now. I convinced myself. I was actually doubting myself when I was explaining that just now. I didn't believe a single word I said until I started saying it, and then I'm like, wait, I'm a gullible guy. I believe that.
You believe it?
I believe it.
You know, I kind of believe you too.
No, don't touch him. He's mine.
Huh?
He's mine.
I never said I was gonna play it. I just said I believe him.
Okay, good.
I'm touching muscle mommy over there.
You know what? That's fine. That's fine. You can touch her all you want. I've been D.
I've been R.
And we've been DJR.
Union.